the issues with it. So it causes more cysts on the ovaries. It can cause pain, bloating, weight gain. It messes up your blood sugar balance. I know a lot of women that have it. They have higher levels of estrogen and lower progesterone, and they can also have more testosterone than some. So it's very important to keep your sugars down and your carbs down. And the reason why I say carbs is because a lot of times people don't think of carbs as a sugar, but actually it breaks into it. So I was put on metformin for a while to regulate the blood sugar imbalances that I had. I wasn't getting enough of that, just to try and balance out everything. For me, a huge thing was realizing that I was getting too many carbs and stuff in my diet. So really had to cut back on that a lot. And by doing that and doing more exercising, because you want to keep your body weight down, especially around the waist. If you have a higher BMI around the waist, 30 or above, your chances of having obesity with it or being really overweight is higher in that sense of for diabetes. So it's important to do the movement. Exercise is huge, and just being very cautious. So for me, I changed everything around, got more involved in my workouts, very, very mindful at what I was putting into my body. And I noticed that I was off the progesterone cream. The doctors were shocked. I wanted off the metformin. I got tired of checking my blood sugars constantly. I was tired of just not feeling right. And so tackling at my diet and exercise was huge. And so I was able to get back to normal for now. I'm on no medication. I'm not saying that everybody will be able to go medication free. Like I said, it affects women very differently. So for me, that was huge, that I was able to do that to maintain my symptoms. It's not something that's going to go away, but it can be, treated with proper diet and exercise.
What's your way of monitoring PCOS to know that the benefits of the changes that you're making are helping?
How did I monitor that? You can do food blogs if you want. Just being very mindful of watching the carbs and sugar content on every label, and just being aware.
Well, also what I meant by that is there tests that you can do yearly with a doctor to know that it's not getting worse, or obviously it plays a huge role in the way that you're feeling, but for them to know that the cysts aren't growing, enlarging, multiplying.
Yeah, of course. I was getting sonograms quite frequently to check the cyst on the ovaries, to where I had a couple that were a pain in the butt. So you can do, your doctors will do different things for you. I know I had saliva testing. You can do blood work. You can do, basically the main thing they're probably going to do is check you with sonograms to make sure that the cysts aren't getting any bigger. They'll need surgery to remove them, or, are they small enough now to where you don't have the, the aching pain and the bloating? It's very painful. But when you start changing the way you're eating and you don't have those symptoms anymore, and if you're like, oh my gosh, what's going on? I feel normal. I haven't had this in a while. Talk to your doctor. Tell them that you changed everything, and just out of curiosity, can we do a sonogram? I've not had a sonogram probably in over a year and a half. So that was really huge for me. I went to the doctor back in August, and she said that everything seemed fine to keep doing what I was doing. So I know there's hope out there. We just got to tackle it and stay with it.
Okay, and then how do you suggest for the listeners to, I know that we want to talk about this in other areas about calculating their sugar intake and paying attention to how many milligrams maybe a day they're having. Is this something that you keep an eye on to know that you're not going overboard with, modern diet and traveling and families and having kids? It just gets difficult.
Yeah. I mean, there are things that you can do. You can write things out. There are apps on the Apple phone that you can do, track food.
Yeah, MyFitnessPal is one of them.
Yeah, and I know there's a PCOS one that you can use. I just know for me, it's just a mental tracker.
Okay.
I know what I can and cannot eat. I know before in the other podcast I said I follow the ketogenic guidelines. Ketogenic is really good because it's very, very low on carbs, like you're getting 5% throughout your day, to very little to no sugar.
As long as it's not long-term.
As long as it's not long-term. If you can do it long enough to feel control over your food, to say, okay, I can't have all these potato chips, I can't have all these French fries, I can't have all these, chocolate chip cookies, maybe one a day, or, whatever you feel that you have control over. The ketogenic is very good for PCOS, and the fact that, just regulating your blood sugar is huge.
Absolutely. So, and there's other benefits to following a ketogenic as well, besides just PCOS. Yes. So it's really helpful. Kind of used as a therapy, so not forever, long term, but
exactly.
Yeah, I like that. Well, I'm so sorry that you dealt with that, but I'm so glad that you have so much information that you can share with us and help clients prevent it, help them realize if they're having symptoms of it, help them realize some how to reverse it a little bit and live happier and healthier.
Yeah, I know for a lot of women it causes infertility. I was really blessed to have my 2 boys before I was diagnosed, because I know several people that have had PCOS that take all the drugs and the shots and everything to get pregnant. So I know for some of them, they had to monitor, the blood sugars and watch their food intake too. So it all connects.
Yeah, and soy is very huge with infertility problems as well. So we'll talk about that another time. But just want to make sure all of you out there are on your toes with this.
Exactly. If you have any questions, feel free to ask.
Yeah, please. We do want you guys to know that you can find us on Facebook, Integrative Health Pod, and reach out to us, email us, and we'll make sure that we answer your questions personally. Now, some other areas of sugar is your gut flora. I know a lot of people here, it's kind of like a thing, get your probiotics and balance your gut flora, but it really is important. There's different types of bacteria in the body and in the gut, and they play a huge role. I know online the gut is actually considered to be a second brain in the body. That's quoted, and paying attention to what bacteria you're getting. So any foods that are colorful and vibrant, of course our fruits and vegetables and our whole foods, they're going to have the good guys, the good soldiers. And the sugary foods are going to, that's where you really get your cravings and all of the symptoms we talked about in the last podcast: sluggishness, inflammation, depression, headaches, dry skin. And lowering your sugar intake is going to help balance out your gut flora, especially when you're eating less carbs, less processed foods, less pastries and sweets and, the junk. And what's going to happen when we eat less of that is we're still hungry, so we're going to be filling it in with other things. And again, as health coaches, like we mentioned before, we really like to crowd out foods. And so filling it with all the colorful foods is, balancing your gut bacteria. The good guys can't live in a low pH environment, so kombucha is really good. Kombucha's got a low pH, and it's got the good bacteria in there, so the bad bacteria can't live in it. And there's names for the bacteria. They're hard for me to pronounce. I've got to practice on that, but taking your probiotics is very good. You want to make sure it's got bifidus in it, a high CFU of bifidus. And stress is also a contributor. It impacts our gut bacteria. So if we want to look at the flora, the microflora as our second brain, then we don't really want to be multiplying these bad guys. So this is where candida overgrowth comes in. I'm sure a lot of the listeners have heard of that. And just having an unhealthy digestive tract. The digestive system is where your enzymes break down your food, and you just want to keep this in optimal health as much as possible. So do you have anything to say in regards to this, Jen, before we move on to the next topic?
Well, it's funny you mentioned the candida overgrowth because my body had a reaction to some stuff that I was on, and my body broke out. It's this horrible, horrible rash. I always tell people it's 50 times worse than poison ivy. I mean, it was on my armpits, my feet. I mean, I couldn't sit, and I was on all this yeast-free, sugar-free food. It was torture. So, there again, it's being aware, and the whole sugar talk from the integrative doctor that I was seeing was brought up. And it was, after I got diagnosed with PCOS, I was like, what else could there possibly be? So I remember taking, it's called Floragen 3. It's a capsule of probiotic, and it's really good. You just stick it in the refrigerator and take it cold. You can break it apart, put in shakes or whatever, but
nice.
That was a really good one. I do agree with you on the kombucha tea because I have to have that every day. And I also found what's called Good Belly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and so I start my morning with that and end it with kombucha. So I'm all about the gut strengthening, and I always tell my clients if you're stressed and you feel bloated or whatever, and you're not releasing that stress, you're storing it right in your gut.
And get those probiotics going. Flush it out.
Exactly. So I'm like, here's some kombucha tea. Go take your Floragen 3. Here's other options for you. Just pick one and start doing it. More vegetables, healthy fruits. Maybe not so much pineapple right away, but
right. Because it's the highest sugar content fruit. That's why.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I remember when I started the keto, I was like, I can't have pineapple. But then I was like, I'll live, So now I have it maybe once in a blue moon. You don't really miss it after you realize you don't need it. I always tell my clients to go with the probiotic, one that your convenience, that you like. Just, make sure it's something that you like, that you remember to take it. So I'm big on the whole gut strengthening.
Yeah, so important. And so sugar just messes that up. You can have an amazing gut balance you work so hard on, and you indulge. It happens. You throw off your gut flora. But again, that's why we reduce the cravings. We get ourselves back on track. It's Thanksgiving week. I did send a message out this morning to everybody. Just remember not to overindulge Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Save it for Thursday when you're with your family and your friends and you're traveling and visiting and stopping from home to home, and do this week what makes you feel good. I hope everybody does a small exercise today and tries to eat right the next couple days, and then save the holiday for the day, Thanksgiving, enjoy it, and then get yourself back on track. That way we're remembering what makes us feel good. So if we start eating like junk today and we do it all day this week, how are we going to feel come Friday? So if we're exercising and that keeps the bloating down, it keeps the inflammation down, we're watching our sugar intake, our carbs, all of the treats, and it's important.
Yeah, if you feel you've gone overboard on Thursday, just go shopping on Friday and burn it right off.
Exactly. Yeah.
Another thing, I was asked. Go ahead. Sorry.
You can reclaim your gut bacteria pretty quickly. Within a couple days, you already start overpowering with good bacteria. So just as quickly as you can damage it, you can revert it. So I just want everyone to know that if you get off track, it's okay. It's not the end of the world, as long as you're getting back on track, so we can prevent all of these degenerative diseases that come with high sugar intake, spiking your blood sugar and obesity and sugar.
Exactly. And I was just recently asked, what is all this added sugar I'm talking about? What does that mean? And just be mindful that when you go somewhere else to eat, especially Thanksgiving, and you're having sweet treats or whatever, the yams with maybe some brown sugar or sugar added to it, the added sugars are the added sugars you actually put on your food. So more than likely you don't need to salt anything, probably don't need to put pepper because they're already doing that for you. And it's very rare to find people that cook that don't add anything to allow you to do that for yourself. So, if they cook with salts, try not to put too much extra salt on there because you don't want a lot of sodium either. But just be mindful that that's what that is, the added sugars, the salts, and everything else. So it's already in the food. So, just,
on a side note, so sodium is going to increase bloating, inflammation, constipation, interrupt your digestive tract. A little bit of a counteractive. This isn't the only way to take care of it. The only way to take care of it is with balanced whole foods. But your omega-3s, your magnesium, your potassium, banana, coconut water. Let's say you get real bloated from all the sodium processed and fast food for a couple days, overdoing the salts. Just follow it up with your, again, magnesium, omega, probiotics, and then your potassium, bananas, and coconut water. It really makes a difference. So it helps you get back on track just a little bit quicker.
Exactly. And if you get too full, skip a breakfast or a lunch the next day, and your body will snap right back. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, another problem with sugar is sleep disruption. Sleep's so vital. It's so vital for your cells. It's so vital for your mood. It's so vital for your hormones. And the sugar is an energy source, temporarily, not long term, and that's why we get the crash. But so if we're doing something during the day pretty frequently that's disrupting our sleep, you just don't want to invite that in. So having sugars, too much in the day or too much towards the evening is going to disrupt your sleep. We want to pay attention to that. Be mindful of how we're feeling. If we were rested last night, what we could do tomorrow to promote a more restful sleep. It's very important. It's just another issue with too much sugar, especially in children, them getting wired and just not getting good sleep, not having good focus or good behavior. And then, even as adults, when we don't sleep good, it really interplays with our decision making, and then with the holidays, there's family and some people have alcohol or just overdoing the baked goods and, the choices when you go out to eat. So again, we just want to get everybody to pay attention to getting that control in your gut and those cravings and being able to make the decisions that you want to. Because I will tell you something about the gut bacteria. It is overpowering. It is just about impossible to make the decisions you want to make if you're out of balance with sugar and gut bacteria. So we get so mad at ourselves. Why did I give in? Why did I cave? It's honestly so overpowering to the brain that unless you set yourself up properly, you're going to face having that struggle. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so.
Resist the cravings. Sleep more. Yeah.
Now,
balance is huge. I think a lot of people don't have that balance, and they're striving to get there, but they don't know how to start. And so it's looking at all the areas, and sugar would be one of them. And your sleep.
Yeah.
So
sugar is a top one, but I'm so glad that you and I are here, and I'm sure a lot of people have heard or read some of the information that we're sharing, but we just want to share it with you. We want to have fun. We want to get on the line, Jen and I. We want to talk to you and let you know what we're learning, what we're thinking, what we're experiencing, and always helps us, get on track just that much more.
I was just reading something that people may not be aware of, too, is I was asked, well, how much sugar's in whatever? So, like, for instance, I was reading a candy bar with 24 grams of sugar is equal to 6 cubes of sugar. That's a lot.
Yeah.
So when you get the darker chocolates, one square, at least you're not getting all that sugar.
Right.
And I know we're going to have pies and cookies, so a single cookie with 18 grams of sugar is equal to 4.5 cubes of sugar.
Wow.
And then if you're going to go out and get all the sodas and everything, so keep in mind a liter of soda with 124 grams of sugar is equal to 31 cubes of sugar. And I'm sure a lot of you go to Starbucks on Black Friday to stay awake so you can shop. So that's another thing.
Yeah.
Don't go asking for all the sugar in your coffees and your lattes or whatever it is you're drinking. So just be really cautious.
Yeah.
Put cinnamon in there instead.
Yeah, and the healthy fats, creamer, just a little bit of milk, just a little bit of healthy fat.
Yeah, so that was like, wow, if you share that with people, they're like, I've never eaten that again.
I know.
But, fight the urge. You can do it.
Now, a little thing too about insulin resistance is I don't know how widespread the concept of carbs and sugar is for the population out there, but just a reminder that sugar, again, it's not just coming from, candy and sweets and soda. It's also coming from all of those carbs. So even though, a little bit of brown rice here and there, rice is healthy, potatoes in moderation really is the key with the carbs. And they are important. It's great to have them. If you get stuck on a ketogenic long term, then you increase your chances of weight regain. But paying attention to where you're getting the sugar. So, pancakes, waffles, cereals, breakfast, croissant, and bread rolls, and all of that kind of stuff. So, do you want to share a little bit for our diabetes listeners on insulin spiking and the carbs?
Well, I know that if you're not cautious, you're going to get more cravings. A lot of people that I have talked to that have diabetes usually crave the cheese, sugars, the carbs, and I always tell them, more protein. Watch your fiber intake. So a little bit they have to be cautious of too is what causes diabetes, what causes the pre-diabetes. Well, you're looking at insulin resistance actually. So the body produces insulin when glucose starts to be released into the bloodstream from the digestion of carbohydrates in the diet. So that's really important. Insulin resistant response triggers glucose being taken into the body cells to be used for energy, which is, we all need the energy. The concentration of glucose in the blood decreases as a result, staying with the normal range even when a large amount of carb is consumed. The signs and symptoms to really watch for insulin resistance is increased hunger, brain fogginess, inability to focus, high blood sugar, weight gain, fat storage. Excessive weight is from high fat storage, usually around the stomach area. So associated risk factors would be your age, obesity and stuff like that. So lack of exercise, then you're going into hypertension and stuff like that. So less fast foods, less processed and no
Absolutely.
processed foods. Because there again, you got the sugars and the salts. Mindful eating. You want to, movement is huge for people with diabetes as well. And then insulin's function is to regulate delivery of the glucose into cells to provide them with energy. Insulin-resistant cells can't take in glucose, amino acids, or fatty acids. So the fatty acids, amino acids, they leak out into the cells. So insulin resistance, but it's important to realize if you're gaining in your weight in your abdomen area, more than likely, chances are you do have insulin resistance, and that's important to think about because that's going to lead to other things. So we want to keep the waistline down. Movement is huge. So just be mindful eating.
Absolutely. With sugar, you get the diabetes and the obesity, but like you just said, in other areas that causes problems. And so other side effects of diabetes include problems with the eyes that can lead to blindness, kidney failure, nerve damage. Again, the wrong population of gut bacteria and difficulty healing. The body will not heal as fast with diabetes or these other areas of concern. And so it's just a snowball effect. And I really believe that if you do have diabetes, it's very common from the modern diet. And if you make health changes with, like Jen said, movement, health choices, being mindful, a whole foods diet, you'll see a change. And ideal blood sugars, this is, probably rare of how many people can say that they're an advocate to this, but waking up in a fasted state and having your blood sugar at 95 is pretty darn ideal. And there's so much research on this, but it's hard to get there. And between 95 and a 105, have you heard of this, Jen?
Yes.
Okay, and so there's home kits you can get from the pharmacies or Walgreens grocery stores where you can test your own blood sugar. And it just, if you've never done this before, it's really nice to just check it, see where you're at, again, on a fasted state in the morning. So wake up in the morning, don't eat anything yet, check it, see where you're at. And if you're high, if you're in the 130s, don't be, discouraged and upset alarmed. We want to teach you, we want to share with you good advice, and we don't want to scare you. So this is just a nice way to be reminded the condition of your health. And bringing down that blood sugars, of course, helps prevent degenerative diseases. And, just being a little mindful of where the sugars come from if you already have diabetes and you're dealing with it and you're taking the hormone insulin, knowing, again, where those sugars come from and build up from, and paying attention to the labels. Remember, an avocado doesn't have a label, an apple doesn't. We already know it's an apple, but if we are buying anything with labels, paying attention to them. And so that's a nice tip. It's nice to know where you are at and start to get yourself on track a little bit better.
Well, too, with type 2 diabetes, it can lead to heart disease as well. There is hope for people that have it, type 2 diabetes as well, of losing the weight. I've got a client right now who's lost about 34 pounds just the past probably 7-8 months. So it's huge. It's exciting. Because he's so motivated and he's just so excited. He wants to move more, so he's parking further away from the door at work, taking more walks during work for his breaks, clear-minded. His cravings actually are going away. He doesn't crave the junk that he once had. It was getting him aware of all the processed food that he was eating to go more for salads and avocados and things that he knows to eat, and he does have a relationship with his food that is in a healthy state. And I think that's awesome. So,
absolutely. Round of applause for that.
Yay! So I'm like a little cheerleader. I'm like, let's keep going, yay!
For sure.
But, and his family's noticing. He's got more confidence. He's got that spark back in his eye, and it's just awesome to watch and be part of that change. So
I love to hear
this. If you're listening and you got diagnosed or know someone that has it and you are struggling, we're here to help you. So yeah.
We are, and I do want to close today. I know it's Thanksgiving week. We don't want to keep you on too long. I know everyone's got shopping to do and calls to make. But we just want to let you know again that we are integrative health coaches. Greenleaf Wellness with Jen Grogan near the Illinois area, and Inspire Wellness for You with myself, Shanna Scordel, here in Arizona. And we can work with you over the phone, Skype, webinar, online, in person. And if you've got questions, send them in. Don't be afraid to call us. We're available. We would love to share with you, tips. We do a free health history consultation. So any of you listeners can get you a health history from Jen or myself, and one of us will get you on the line and call you, and we'll talk. And I always like to tell possible clients that there's always going to be takeaways from the health history. So even, just to get yourself on track a little bit, or if you're feeling, great, your weight's good, your exercise is great, and you maybe have just a couple questions just to tweak it just a little bit more, and you don't need, us very much. Again, share your questions with us, share your feedback, and let us know how we're doing.
Awesome. We're here for you.
Well, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. We'll see you next week. We'll talk to you.
Bye.
Bye.